Get it through your fucking head. I don't want your fucking money.
Just wanted to pop in here real quick to talk about a small selection of podcasts I think you might enjoy. Of course, we should all know about the Crazy Ex-Girlfriend podcasts out there, which are all a few clicks away. With links in the description, you'll find Crazy Ex-Girlfans, Crazy Ex-Girlfriends, You Ruin Everything, Crazy Ex-Boyfriends, and Bunch at Lunch. If you want to tack Bagels After Midnight to that list, there could be an endless supply of shows covering the same subject matter, because it will always be a different conversation, a different perspective. Definitely recommend checking these out. It's a no-brainer. First up on the page, Screenwriting has been my longest resource for guidance on the craft and business of screenwriting. Host Pilar Alessandra is a professional script consultant and author of the Coffee Break Screenwriter, and she teaches classes and has a great many insights into the industry and the artistry both. She often has on guests who write books about screenwriting, and that's also been very helpful. And this might seem like a minute detail, but she's also a super great podcast host, which we don't always expect or deserve. She's very charming. She has this ability to develop a rapport with anyone she talks to, coaxing out their insights. Alessandra has that kind of critical eye when it comes to storytelling and knows both the platonic idea of story, but also specifically how you approach story in screenplays for film and TV, which are very specific things.
For half hour, this crisis might not be quite so serious, but it might be something, again, that we're hitting in the second act. And you can create crisis for your character by increasing the antagonist activity. You can create a low point by having the flaw return in a way that creates an obstacle. You can also show that a choice is made that has to be overcome in the third act or in the end. And you can also have those act low points trigger a problem-solving strategy.
In terms of general TV talk, as opposed to just Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, I don't have too much experience there, but you might want to check out Iced Coffee, which takes a somewhat peculiar approach, but provides a compelling discussion regardless. They gave me a shout out one time, and they're really cool. And in terms of peculiar and compelling, I'm not sure you can do better than choosing to talk about the now long-ended ABC show Revenge, as David and Gratz do on Revengecast.
Jack's like, or Conrad's like, why doesn't everybody fucking just live here then? I got my wife's estranged son. Like,
no, he calls him the bastard.
All right, Ned Stark's bastard.
He calls him the bastard, and then he's like, we've got the bastard, the Brit.
We've got you, I guess. So
now we have you.
And Jack's like, I'm not staying after we talk. It's like, that wasn't an invitation, Jack.
Now, Revengecast may not update with any regularity, but is one of the funniest things you can find on the internet. It's very difficult to describe the host's relationship to the show Revenge. It's not pure mockery because there's some genuine appreciation or worship, specifically of the character Victoria, her razor wit and killer fashion sense. But Revenge as a TV show is also like Soap Opera 24, so overwrought, so over the top. It's perfect material for a podcast like this. I've been following the two hosts for a while now. Dave is a writer and critic who's been doing an anime video game podcast for 12 years now, called Fast Ride for the Gentleman, which I can't in good conscience recommend because it is from 2005, and that was surprisingly a much different time. But partway through, the insensitive language, you notice, calms down, and it's just about my favorite thing ever. Dave and Gratz also stream video games often, many times for charity, and they're very earnest, sensitive, compassionate people who also manage to make you roll on the floor laughing, or make each other do that.
All right, the old Saint Nick. What do they call him in Italian? Pater Crismioso.
Babbo Natale.
Papa Natale.
Babbo.
Bob.
Fuck you!
If you've seen Revenge, this is a must, and if you haven't seen Revenge, they provide enough context and narrated plot summary for you to follow, and some listeners have attested that the headcanon created by listening to the show is better than the actual show.
Because Jack's coming over for boys' night.
Yeah.
Also, Jack told me that Patrick is an attempted murderer, and then Emily goes, Jack went rogue and you didn't tell me about it?
She does say that, and it's amazing.
And Nolan's like, I've had nobody to talk to about all the crap I'm going through. And Emily's like, I talked to you about Patrick. And then I think in the same conversation, she refers to Patrick as an asset.
Right, true.
Finally, the last podcast I wanted to point out here is all about movie criticism, and sometimes anime. The Greatest Movie Ever podcast, hosted by Paul Chapman, in tandem with an incredible rotating gallery of guests, covers a range of films from the cult like Streets of Fire and The Last Unicorn, to genre classics like Akira and The Thing, underdog movies like Sorcerer and Doomsday, and all sorts of weird shit in between, and also more traditionally held movies like The Three Burials of Melquiades Estrada, and Juice, and Ben-Hur, not to mention Z-grade movies and exploitation like Turkey Shoot, Galaxy of Terror, Star Crash. I love that approach. Paul does not discriminate when it comes to movies, and he has a specialist for each genre. He's got a cinephile guy, a tokusatsu guy, an 80s action guy, and a giant reptile movie guy. And that guy happens to be his mom, who's the best co-host ever.
This was a German TV film.
And it's awesome. It has everything and more that I expected. It was filmed in the Balearics on Mallorca, and I've been there and spent a lot of time there. My sister used to live on Formentera. So it totally captured the town, the island, the local people. You know, forget about the shark, which I can't because he was awesome. It was a great movie.
There's a great tonal balance of levity and seriousness, so crucial when it comes to heady film analysis, and over hours of the podcast that exist, you get a very intimate experience with a very deliberate, very thoughtful film critic as he pieces out themes and issues and usually concludes as to why something is indeed the greatest movie ever, a nebulous but instantly understandable metric that appeals to the parts of ourselves that escape into media and then maybe wonder why. Paul is empowering fellow nerds and fans with the analytical tools to better grasp or even remember what it is in the media we consume that matters to us and why. I can personally attest to his efficacy there, and he's been one of the most formative critics for my own perception and writing about media.
And again, I think this is what's so cool about this movie is visually the story is being told. I was able to pick up on this is like a psychic intrusion by him into disapproving Canadian lady. From his acting and from his behavior, he's not doing it on purpose.
No.
He can't control it. It's hurting him as well.
Right. The psychic phenomena leaves dysfunctional people.
I hope you guys check these podcasts out because they've helped me out in various ways. In other news, I was on vacation last week, so I needed a quick video here to buy myself some time, but next week we're going to be talking Daryl Whitefeather.